So I think we're starting off scuffed as hell. I can't tell. How am I ridiculously desynced? Like my camera, my feed is like several seconds behind in my own preview window, which is very weird. So I hate that. Let's see if we can fix that. Webcam, properties. Did that fix it? No, that's so much worse. Oh, that's so much worse. Oh, that's nope, that's not better. How about let's go here. Let's press this button. Turn that off. Better, no. Oh, getting better. Getting better. Getting a little better. This seems a little better. This seems a little better. Is this a little better? We'll call that good. We'll call that good. I don't know why that was happening, but so be it. Let's give the dog a treat because he is nudging me. Now we're back to Jaggies. It's gonna be an adventure of a stream today, apparently. But let's give the dog a treat and ignore that the stream is falling apart. So let's do that. Go over here. Okay. Hey, Flynn. You want a treat? This camera is perfectly fine, it seems. Going up. We're getting low on this type of treat. I'm gonna have to get a new treat bag. Praise. There it is. There it is. Boy got a treat. Boy did got a treat. So that's good. Hello everybody. Hello to Ada Scout, Prefix, Nitro Nick, Jack-o'-lantern, Fire Drops, Names, Mog Moxie, Pedro, SWAT Fabs, Katwibi, Sleep with Serafina, Jafar James. What's going on? Tell him we love him. Flynn, do you know how loved you are? What a wiggle buddy. Wiggle buddy. He is a wiggle buddy. One of the loved of all time. He is very, very, very loved and also immediately stepped out of the camera feed. So let's go ahead and click that button. How's it going? I'm gonna straight up. Oh well, it's fine. I don't know why my camera feed's a little choppy, but hopefully it'll resolve itself. How's everybody doing this morning? How's everybody doing? It's fixed. What's fixed? Everything. Everything's fixed. Hello, Mike. What's going on? What's going on? How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? You'll notice a few changes to El Stramo. So the first thing is the chats look a little different. I kind of brought back sort of the old vibe. We've got some rounded borders, you know, big upgrades. And also I am still working on like getting the YouTube stream set up. Bro dropped a liquid glass vibe. Absolutely, right? Oh man, I should just add way more. I want to add more animations in general to the stream, but you know, it's a slow process. I spent most of yesterday trying to figure out how the fuck this is true. Trying to figure out how to get YouTube's API to not be the worst thing ever. Let's back up a few thousand paces and I'll give a little bit of context and I'm gonna ramble, I'm gonna rant at you. This is a fucking multi-trillion-dollar company. I think Google's multi-trillion now. Here's the situation. For those who are not aware, I'm a software developer. and it's just like what I like to do. It was a thing I did as my job for like 15 years, and it made me want to put a bullet in my brain. So I stopped doing it as a job, and I went back to doing it as a hobby, because it's like a thing I love, not a thing that I want to do for the shareholders. So because I really enjoy programming, like this whole setup is a custom app that I've been working on that's got like custom integrations, and it's part of the reason why it's taking me so goddamn long to launch a YouTube stream, is because I want to have my custom app integrate with YouTube. So I was digging in to how YouTube's API works. An API, for those who are not software boys, an API is just like a thing that you can use to build software that interacts with a service, right? So the YouTube API lets you build software that interacts with YouTube, just like the Discord API lets me make the systems that I've built that interact with the Discord server. YouTube's API, and really all of Google's APIs, are the fucking worst. They're so bad. Like, it's hard to describe what a bad API means to people who are not software developers, but if you are a software developer, you probably immediately know what I mean if I say Google APIs. Their documentation is wholly inscrutable. Like, if you've ever tried to use like learn or find a help article about something with Google, and you've found it like difficult to figure out what the fuck to do, or like where to find the help article, imagine that times 1,000, because the documentation for Google's APIs, like if you want to learn how to use it, you have to like find a hidden page somewhere that links to like another page that has like 12 links that are not descriptive of what you're looking for. They all just say like, to learn more here. And so you like click the learn more button, and you like go to another page that's usually outdated. At one point, I literally went from like the canonical current Google like primary documentation page that said like, click here to learn more, and it took me to a broken website. Like a website that said like, okay, here's a bunch of information. I was like, this looks promising. And then like just trying to use the table of contents, like the links to like jump to a section in the documentation, didn't work. And then I tried using the search feature. It was broken, returned nothing ever. This is Google. Like, I'm trying to build a thing to integrate with YouTube, one of the richest platforms on the fucking planet, and it's basically impossible. And so if you dig in to try to find like, okay, how does, like, given that this is so bad, given this is so obnoxious to work with, what does the general community, like people who do build apps that integrate with YouTube, what do they do? And the answer is they don't. Like, half of YouTube integration software that I was like finding while I was trying to dig up a way to do this in a way that doesn't suck explicitly boasts about not using the YouTube API and how that makes it easier. So like there are a lot of packages out there that just abuse other endpoints, like other YouTube features, to try to replicate what the API does in a more sane way. For example, what I wanted to do, because YouTube's API is fucking insane, right? On Twitch, if I want to get the chat, I set up a Twitch application, I connect to chat, and I say, give me the chats for this channel. And whenever a chat comes in, it sends that to my application. YouTube, you have to say, okay, I want to see the 100 most recent live stream events associated with a given live stream ID, which changes every time that you go live and is different from the ID of the video that ultimately becomes on your channel after the live, and is also different from the lives that you schedule ahead of time. So you have to figure out this ID of your current live stream in order to ask YouTube to send you the 100 most recent events. Then you have to look at those recent events, see which ones you've not yet seen to determine which ones are new, and then you have to take those ones and treat them as new, and then keep doing that on loop forever. You have to like repeatedly ask YouTube, okay, give me the next 100 most recent events. Even if nothing has changed, I don't know because you won't tell me. I have to ask you for it. So you have to like constantly poll it. It's just absurd. So instead of having to do all this bullshit, there are like workarounds that people have used where they just like abuse the search feature. like the whole thing about trying to find your live stream ID or whatever, they'll abuse the search feature to they'll like search for a given channel name and the word live to try to find the live stream, to try to get the ID, to try to automate the process of fetching all the chats. It's so busted. It's so obnoxious. Man, you can call me. I helped build this. Look, let me know what you need and I can get a developer to reach out. Because they weren't originally supposed to be used externally. Do you work at YouTube? If so, fix it. I used to work at Google. I worked at Google for a couple of summers, and I'm aware of the culture around Google not planning for basically anything ever. Yeah. Selenium, the chat's out from a browser. So the problem is that so Selenium would be more effort, right? Because I can just use an API to list stuff. Like that's fine. It would be more effort to use Selenium to open up the web page, and it doesn't solve the problem of still needing to know the live stream ID, right? With Twitch, you're just live or not. When you're building an application or when you're going live on Twitch, you just are live or are not. And that's it. So you just say, I want the information about this one channel, and it's just, here you go. On YouTube, lives are a separate entity that has a unique ID that only exists while you're streaming, but you can also pre-schedule lives, which get their own different ID. And if you go live near the time of a scheduled live on YouTube, I think it might use that ID, but I don't know. And then the ID changes when it becomes a VOD. It's a fucking disaster. So it's just a mess. And this is why I've been dragging my feet on getting the YouTube integration going. Because I want to be able to have the chats and have them be able to roll stuff. But yeah, what I'm going to be doing instead is I went ahead and got Restream. So Restream is a service for helping to automate cross-platform streaming for normal people who aren't weird like me and make their own full custom integration and whatnot. But Restream has an API that is much more sane. So Restream has already done the heavy lifting of creating all of these integrations with all the different live stream apps, and then it has a unified chat event system that it can just send. So I'm going to look into grabbing or using that systems API to try to bring in YouTube chat, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm probably going to work on that over the next couple of weeks or whatever and start trying to get the YouTube stream going. I've been talking about API integration details for longer than I intended to. Let's see what's going on in chat. They're made of move fast and break things. Yeah, Google loves to move fast and break things. I'm not sure if they still do. I think now they move strangely and break people's will. I think that's kind of where they're at right now. Wait, did I miss some context here? Can you use a state checking if the number of events is greater than the number currently stored, and then use that to update and show a new message every time the state is increased? Yeah. So the way that it works when you're fetching YouTube update events is you're constantly asking for the latest stuff, and you basically all you really need to do is store the time of the most recent thing that you've seen, and then when you go fetch the data again, if anything is newer than that time, then that's new, and you process it. But it's the fact that I can't just say hey, let me know when there's a new chat. Which every other chat service does this, every other chat thing. But because YouTube is a giant just pile of half-baked taped on features, like everything Google has ever made, it was never really designed to be a chat. Twitch literally designed Twitch chat on top of IRC, which was a very well-established chat protocol. So it's very approachable, very usable, but YouTube just makes it hard. Sir Butts the Fourth says, I literally got an ad for ketamine on Instagram recently. The world is so cooked. This is a great segue, Sir Butts the Fourth. Thank you for this. It's kind of fucked. YouTube went to try to unban Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes and then like rebanned them basically immediately. Instagram is allowing pretty much anyone to advertise pretty much anything. And we're in this era where any notion of pushing back on anyone's ability to post things on the internet is seen as silencing free speech. And obviously any reasonable person, right? Like obviously any reasonable person who understands that free speech is about the government, not about private companies or whatever, will shrug that off. But the fact that we have a world where social media companies play off of people's anger about being silenced so that they don't have to spend money on moderation because they've turned it into a political issue is absurd. Think about the fact that you can go onto a social media site and just say anything. Free speech is great, but free speech wasn't like, hey, everyone has a right to amplification. Think about like the number of crazy people that are just out on the street that just are unhinged, screaming about whatever that you just like walk past on the street. They didn't have a mandate that their nonsense was required to be blasted through a megaphone for everyone to hear. And if anybody plugs their ears, then that person's morally abhorrent. That is where we're at now, is like, don't block people because that makes an echo chamber. But also, people should be able to post whatever the fuck they want, regardless of how false it is, as if it's fact. And there are so many people who don't know and don't think about the fact that what they're reading, it could be written by anyone. If you see a post on the internet from an account you've never seen before, that is functionally equivalent to a random person walking up to you on the street and just shouting that in your face. Like just this morning, I saw some jagweed on some social media site. I've seen the same thing posted in a bunch of places from a bunch of accounts that are just trying to stir the pot, just trying to cause havoc. It was an assertion that there exists a woman somewhere that is in the hospital while pregnant because she took like an entire bottle of Tylenol to prove MAGA wrong. Obviously that didn't happen, right? Obviously that is a completely made up thing. There's not a woman out there who's pregnant and is like, I'm gonna take an entire bottle of Tylenol. What? Like that's just, it's the same as the all the other just like fucking fantasies that they make up to show that they don't understand how their opposition actually functions. But they post this and it gets engagement because people are either like, that didn't happen, or they're like, stop believing these lies, or they're like, stop spreading these lies, or they're like, I can't believe that happened. And that last group is non-zero. And that's a problem. I said before that like social media companies should not be allowed to have millions of users or billions. Like a reminder, Meta, which is Facebook, Instagram, they have billions of users. Billions of users. More than most countries have in population. And what they're doing for those users, besides, you know, aggregating all their data to sell to advertisers, is amplifying and publishing and sharing all of those users' posts. If you're a company that allows people to post whatever on your platform, and your approach to moderation is how little can we possibly do, because you don't want to have to pay for moderators, or because like engagement might be slightly lower if you had to actually tackle bots. Like they have no financial incentive to prevent the spread of truly dangerous like misinformation and bots that are astroturfing, which is like half of the internet right now. They don't want to get rid of those bots. It's the same thing with Elon Musk, where he was like, we're going to get rid of all the bots on Twitter. And now there's more bots than ever, but he needs them because if they got rid of the bots, he would have bad numbers and would lose even more money. But that's how all these companies work. And so like, there's just a rampant plague of bots posting bullshit and astroturfing made worse by people who fall for that than just spreading it. And so instead of having some sort of like, okay, like here's a system that says, here's a sentiment that like was viewed by these users and reposted and created this network effect of false information, they could easily pinpoint that back to a handful of accounts and see if those accounts are genuine or not, and otherwise, you know, ban them if they're bots or otherwise limit their reach as they're like evaluated or whatever. They don't do any of that. They just don't do any of that. And their algorithm instead uplifts posts that get the most engagement, which is to say posts that cause the most inflammatory reactions. And so what they do is they uplift the most unhinged, back-ass words, false-ass things to the top of everybody's feeds. And then people see it and repost it, and we make it worse. Flynn cam down. Flynn is... Oh, he's in his bed now. Okay, let's fix that. Thank you. Thank you. The cinnamon roll of love is back. Oh my goodness, he is a cinnamon roll. While we're on it, social media being able to post arbitrary rules about not safe for work posts that can easily lead to censor queer groups. Nitro Nick, I'm assuming you're talking about the Blue Sky thing? Where Blue Sky, I talked about this last time as well, where Blue Sky changed the definition of like CNC. Before we get to that, I want to fix the chat thing. So I did do the exact thing that I always do, which is I pushed an update to my stream overlay like right before going live, because I wanted to make the chat look a little nicer. But it became very obvious that if you have a light color, it's still trying to use the old contrasting text. So we can see here Brachus Rex has basically unreadable message. So let's fix that real quick. Like real quick, like real quick, like real quick, okay, like real quick, okay, like real quick. So chat message, quite literally, I'm just gonna make all the chat messages be the light text color. So
hey, what? Wait, look who just subscribed.
We're just gonna do color Starlight. Get rid of these boys, don't need that, which means I can get rid of these, which means I can get rid of these. That should do it. Okay, let's get that deployed so that y'all can have any sense of being able to read some stuff. Let's see. Okay, let's see if that worked. Wait, that's so much worse. Wait. What? That's so much worse. How could this happen? Oh, wait. Wait, are we good? Are we bad? Wait. Did it get worse?
That's rough, buddy.
How did it get worse? What did I do? Wait a minute. Oh God. How? Wait. Oh, I'm a big dumb idiot. That's why. Don't mind me. That was the problem. Yes. My bad. Here, this'll fix it. I promise. And boop. There we go. There we go. Fixed. Everything's fine. Everything's fine, and it worked on the first try. So, you know?
Praise!
Have you tried percussive maintenance? Wrong color? What's the wrong color? Wait, what's the wrong color? What color is wrong? No colors are wrong. It was me, Barry. Like the Flash? You done borked it? I did done borked it. I very much did. Tokyo Games Show was fucking awesome. Let's see. Tokyo Games Show. Everything announced, including Forza Horizon 6 setting. Tokyo Game Show 2025 broadcast just wrapped. We got Forza Horizon 6. We got Ninja Gaiden 4. More like Ninja Gaiden. Am I right? Am I right? Get it? Because like, like gay, like the gay agenda, like gay rights. Peace, and people should be able to get married. Mr. Slothman with 9 months, and Ollie at 25 months. Also, I missed a bunch of follows, and I'm so sorry. Shay Hurley, Hilux 1981, and Scramblet B, welcome in. You're at the Microsoft page. Go to the actual page. How is this not? What's wrong with this? Like, do I need to go to a different page? It looks like this has all the information that I'm needing. Let's see. Video games. You have like a okay. It's got like a whole. Hold on. We've got like a whole suite of images here. Excuse me. Copy link. Thank you.
Hey, someone gifted subscriptions. Thank you. Going up.
So we've got stuff going on. This is just Microsoft stuff. All right, let's see these photos. These photogs of the Tokyo Games.
Hey, what? Wait. Look who just subscribed.
What do we got here? 9100 Pro? Are you serious? Wait a minute. Make your GG. Is this right here, the 9100 Pro? Right here? Oh. Holy shit. Nitro Nick with 5 gifted subs. And Serafina with 6 months.
Hey, someone gifted
and Mr. Slothman with 5 gifted subs. And we have a hype train now. What is going on? I'm just looking at the 9100 Pro. My goodness. All right, let's see more. Thank you so much. Let's see more images. Copy link.
Hey, what? Wait.
Final Fantasy Tactics. That's not Fire Emblem. Chat is having a party. What is even happening? Prefix resubbed. My goodness. All right. Oh, this is illegal now. So we can't be doing this. Because you can't riot. It's illegal. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. There was something about they just arrested some people. Antifa.
Hey, someone gifted subscriptions. Thank you for that.
Okay, well you can't riot because that's illegal now. You're a terrorist. So can't do that. Let's see.
Hello.
Oh, it's a hot grill. It's grills. Let's see. Got milk. Battlefield 6? They made 6 of them. Like, I thought that we were kind of done after like Gettysburg. But they made 6 battlefields. Okay, let's see. What do we got? Oh, wow. Hold on. The fuck? Here's the thing. Absolutely would. 100% would. Like so would, like so would. Like, yeah, you like, obviously. Like, how could we not? But only, and explicitly only, if she speaks in the Toad voice the whole time. Otherwise, I want nothing to do with it. With the mushroom hat on, yes. And doing the voice. All right, what do we got here? 8. Oh, this is that. Is this that one with the hallways? This is that one where you gotta like go down the hallways and there's like anomalies or whatever, right? What game? There's that's that game. This is Monster Hunter Stories 3. I know very little about the Monster Hunter franchise. I will admit, I know very little about the Monster Hunter franchise. I did play, what was the game? Dauntless, which was like a shitty clone of Monster Hunter, and I was like, this game rules. And then people were like, it's just bad Monster Hunter, and I was like, no, it's its own thing, and it's just bad Monster Hunter, it turns out. Dargans. All right, one more. Uno mas. Oh, interesting. Look at this. So this is fun. I just kind of got something like this, actually. Hold on, it's like literally right here. The thing that I was bitching about having to pay tariffs on, it was basically this. So like these are like a new sort of like, not necessarily new, but like ultra portable full computers that are like borderline handheld, and even in some cases like this one have like controller stuff on them, so you can kind of like hold them at the top and play games, but they're lightweight. Look at this. we got one here. I am really excited about this thing. So this is just like a tiny little computer, right? Little computer. And it also can do this, which is cool. Turn around, become a touchscreen like tablet thing. But I'm using this for helping me with a handful of tasks that I want to be able to have on the go. But also more interestingly is there is actually I have it. Hold on, please hold. This is so nerdy. Oh my God. Why am I even talking about this right now? This is so whatever. Okay, here we go. So the one that I got is less for gaming and more for like system engineering stuff. And specifically the reason I got it is because of this tiny little doohickey. So this is a tiny little module that the device that I got has like a port on the back that you can swap out modules. And the module it comes with by default is just like an SD card module, but this one is a KVM module. So there's an HDMI port and a USB-C port. And what happens is when you attach this and use this module, you can plug an HDMI cable into this and then plug it via USB into another machine. And you now have a monitor, keyboard, and mouse to control that machine by way of this tiny little laptop. So it becomes an interface for any other machine by plugging that machine's output into this. So you have the machine's HDMI out going into here, and then the USB port is simulating a keyboard and mouse going into the computer. So without needing to have, like, I can just plug it into any of the other machines that I have and take that machine over, which is super useful when you're a giant nerd like me and have a literal like server rack off screen over here. So it's like a super simple KVM. So that's neat. Anyway, yeah, that's what I'm excited about right now. Right now. Top game of the show was definitely Anantis. Anantis. News to me. What's that? Come on. Ananta. It's one of the many names of Vishnu. It's also the name of Shesha, the celestial snake, on which Vishnu reclines in the cosmic ocean. That's fucking sick. Wait, what? Hold on. So this motherfucker is just like, I'm gonna recline on a celestial snake in the cosmic ocean. This is why people are like leaving the Christian church. Look, the Christian church, they've got some good stories. They've got some good stuff. The Old Testament, it's got some wild, wacky shit going on. But it doesn't have Vishnu reclining on a celestial snake in the cosmic ocean. Instead, it's got a big flood and pillars of salt. It just doesn't seem as interesting to me. You gotta zhuzh it up a little bit, Jesus. Come on, man. I worship Monkey King. Anyway, the game is loading. Why is the website loading? Is it 2001? Do we have Flash intros again? Why is it loading? What are you loading? Is this the game? No, it was just the website. What? Because you wanted me to... It's doing the scroll thing where as I scroll, it plays forward and backwards. This was not worth it. Like, just... Why? I can see how this maybe works on a cell phone as you're scrolling or something. But yeah, scroll to progress with a video of this, like, cool, I guess, but I don't get it. Anyway, I'm sure the game looks really cool. Like, the game looks fucking rad. However, I'm very mad. I'm very, very mad about the web development of it all. There's a well-understood concept in web development that if somebody has to wait more than 3 seconds for your page to load, you've lost at least 50% of your viewers. So, like, they lost 99.9% of people. That's all I'm getting at. Anyway, yeah, I haven't played a game in a long time. That's not true. I've been playing a lot of Fire Emblem Fire Emblem Heroes, the mobile game, but also Fire Emblem Three Hopes. So I was playing Fire Emblem Three Houses. I was replaying it. I love that game. I played it into the fucking dirt when it first came out, and I've gone back and started playing it a bunch again. But Fire Emblem Three Hopes is a Warriors game, and I've played exactly no Warriors games before. And here's the situation. I was under the belief that Warriors games were bad. I was told by a trusted source to basically just ignore Warriors games. I'm mad at that trusted source because Three Hopes fucking slaps. Now, I've never played a Warriors game before, so maybe it's just like more of the same and is boring if you've played a bunch of other Warriors games. But Fire Emblem Three Hopes is just taking the characters that I very much like from Three Houses and putting them in an action arcade style, still kind of RPG-ish, brawling, kill thousands of people at a time game. And it's fun as shit. And the writing is great. Like, they brought over a lot of the creative directors and writers and artists from the original Three Houses, and they basically wrote a alternate timeline of the story in the same world that, like, just plays out really differently. And it just, like, gives them a chance to explore characters and what they would do in different situations. It's really, really good. Warriors games are great, mindless fun. Yeah, like, it's fun. I don't know. Like, I'm playing on, like, the normal difficulty, so I'm just kind of, like, tearing through shit. But just, like, the putting together a ridiculous kit on a character and just rolling through hordes of enemies and watching them go flying, it's fun. It's satisfying. Have a cup of coffee, beat up thousands of people. It's a good time. Web dev has been tilted. I get tilted by bad websites so easily. This happens all the time. If I have to sign up for your website to pay, a pox upon your family. If I have to, if you have a mobile, like a thing that plagues me is that around me, for whatever reason, every fucking municipality has a different contract with a different parking meter app. So like anywhere that I want to go park, I have to pay money because it's America. And the parking meters are now all run by apps, but it's a different app if you go 5 minutes in any direction. So I have like 12 different parking apps. All of them are constantly fucking logging me out. All of them are constantly updating and losing all of my information. And they all require me to like put in my credit card number directly when I have a fucking iPhone with Apple Pay. If I go to a website in Safari on my phone to do a one-time payment and I can't just use Apple Pay in 2025 or, you know, insert Google Pay or whatever your native payment platform is for your device, what the fuck are you doing? Like if I have a parking situation where I can like scan a QR code and it like opens up a thing and I just like maybe put in my license plate and hit add an Apple Pay button, great, cool. We're chill. I'm good with that. But if there's a multi-step process to just pay you money, fuck you. I don't want to have to be using your parking app to begin with. I don't want to have to go through your shit. I do not want to create an account because I should not have to. We have no business relationship. You are collecting a fee so that I can leave my car here, and I never want to have to use your service for anything besides that. So don't make me sign up. Why would I have to? One-use virtual cards are a godsend. Yeah, virtual cards are really, really good. Also, hello, Bullet Master, and Biodame, and Hitsapod. And also, we hit a level 5 hype train. I need to remember, like, look at my activity feed ever. I get so fucking mad at bad websites, busted user experiences, and I specifically worked at Stripe. I worked on, if you've ever used Stripe checkout, if you even know what that is, you've probably used it. If you've bought stuff on the internet, you've probably used Stripe checkouts or Stripe elements, both of which I've worked on.
Hey, it's time for
I've literally walked the walk. So it's like I'm not like I've put in the work to make it easy for other apps to have convenient payment flows. That was my job for a while. And so I get irate when I encounter a bad payment flow, because it's like I spent years going to fucking design review meetings and plannings and writing up entire product specs, having them picked apart, having to like justify shit so that I can make things better, and you could just use that, and instead you didn't. Oh, hey, I work with Stripe in my company. Honestly, I don't hate them anywhere near as much as I hate most other software. So, Stripe is a financial technology company, which is to say they're bad, right? Like, I worked there. They're not actually bad people, right? But it broke my soul. Like, it broke my entire being to spend several years of my life working in financial technology. The people who run Stripe are generally good. I'm spooked by some of the things I've seen Patrick Collison do, who's the CEO. More recently, he's just been like kind of getting into some of the weird, you know, the same stuff that every other big tech CEO gets into. But like actual, as far as like having a heart, he has a heart. And also his brother John also is a goober. Stripe is one of the few companies that has an actually good API. The effort that they put into making the Stripe API very usable is wild. Like the amount of human cognitive energy that goes into ensuring that everything, like every decision about that API is reviewed by like 20 people. There are definitely crufty parts, but it's a really nice thing to use. Fuck Stripe though. Aren't they the ones who made Steam and itch.io ban not safe for work content? Kind of. No-ish, kind of. Kind of no, kind of. So Stripe is a company that shouldn't exist. he said, having worked there, Stripe is a company that shouldn't exist, much like several other fintech companies shouldn't exist, because in the US, there just like isn't a good and convenient way to do payments. And so we have these ancient, decaying, awful systems and zero political will to implement a centralized system for payments that's free for businesses and individuals. So instead, we have a bunch of paid private payment processors who all stack on top of each other to make each other more accessible. But for each payment processor that's involved in a payment, they take a cut, which makes it more expensive, which makes the simple act of transferring money more expensive because America. So like Stripe shouldn't exist because it's a middleman. Stripe is a layer on top of a bunch of other payment systems that span worldwide. Like it would be insane for a normal person to try to just replicate what Stripe did. But it shouldn't be a private company doing this. Like it should be a free service. Transferring money should not be a paid service. I need to hydrate. So, what was I saying? Yeah, so here's what happened with Stripe and Itch and Steam. So Stripe is the backing payment processor for a lot of websites, like a lot of them. Itch is no exception. Stripe is, as I said, a layer on top of a bunch of other payment networks. For example, Visa and MasterCard and PayPal. If you didn't know, PayPal is a literal bank. PayPal is classified as a bank. Stripe is not classified as a bank. Stripe is a partner to these banks. So the banks set limitations on what their business partners can do dealings with. Stripe is a business partner that is beholden to what the banks deem allowable. So while Stripe could throw its weight around, and I think they should throw their weight around to make significant, meaningful change in that industry, they are a big enough player that they could push back. And to that degree, like they have the ability to make things better, and they're not devoting a bunch of effort to that. But they are beholden to their banking stuff. I can say, like, I don't know if this is breaking policies or whatever, but I can say that like internally, it's not like the people internal to Stripe, including product managers all the way up to the people at the top, it's not like they don't want to allow like adult content and like weed on their platform, right? They would be thrilled if they could get into those verticals. If they could start being a payment processor that takes adult content and like cannabis sales. They want that. That's money for them. They don't care. They don't hold the stance that it's like a dangerous thing that they shouldn't be involved in. They just want to move more money. So if you go to Stripe's page, or like you go to Stripe's like FAQs or whatever, you can actually see the list. Actually, I'll go ahead and pull it up. You can see the list of things that their processors make them unable to support. And they say, I believe on that page, like we would love to, Stripe limitations on business. Is that prohibited and restricted businesses? Okay. High risk jurisdictions. This was interesting. Speaking of having worked there, so yeah, they have to adhere to sanctions, right? So they have to adhere to sanctions. So yeah, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Syria, Crimea. Yeah. So like, I had to write code to go around sanctions, not circumvent sanctions. That was wrong. That was the wrong phrasing. I had to write code that was conscientious of sanctions. So it was like, I needed to add it, like, if country is under sanctions, then don't do this. Dev, why haven't you built DevPay? That's a really good question. Former Visa employee here. I bitched at coworkers about it. About what? Wait. Oh no. About came from the banks to, yeah, okay, we're saying the same thing. Okay. Finance code is very demure, very mindful. High risk persons, prohibited services, prohibited businesses. Here we go. Okay. You must not use Stripe services for any illegal activities, blah, blah, blah. Adult services, yeah, adult video stores, blah, 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 ATMs, gambling, government services. Yeah, where's the, yeah, cannabis products, FAQs for additional details. Why isn't my business allowed on Stripe? We understand that your business might be legal, but for now, due to various reasons, including requirements that apply to Stripe as a financial infrastructure platform, requirements from our financial partners, and the potential risk exposure to Stripe, we currently are not allowed to work with certain, or not able to work with certain industries. You can find more. So, like, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, Stripe is has no problems. They're great, whatever. They've got their problems. They are not the source of the weird puritanism around commerce. Write code that takes into account sanctions. Yeah. Anyways, bedtime. Good night. Forever. Until later. They depend on the bigger fishes. Yeah, but again, at the same time, I do wish that they were doing more. Stripe is a big player and could throw their weight around to be like, hey, Visa and MasterCard, this is some bullshit, and we want to be able to do these industries. That would be good. Ideally. I prefer if count sanctions is greater than 0, do crime. You've made some good points. You've made some really good points. Can they stand against the banks, though, if they depend on them? It's an interesting relationship. So, first of all, funny little factoid. Patrick Collison, the CEO of Stripe, is banned for life from having an American Express card. That's real. I don't know if they've since fixed it, but when I was working there, that was real. When they were originally building Stripe and testing it, like when they were originally, like, you know, just a couple of guys sitting in their basement, like coding up whatever, they needed to do test payments. And so they took out an Amex card and just was using that to do all their test payments and got flagged for fraud and got a lifetime ban from Amex cards, which is actually hilarious. Very similar to how I have a lifetime ban from making money off of Google's ads. Thankfully, I now have an LLC, so my YouTube ad revenue goes to my LLC, not me. But if I try to apply for AdSense, I have a lifetime ban because of some dumb bullshit my friends did in middle school. Lifetime bans are a thing. What was I saying? Patrick Collison, I was answering a question. Can't they stand against the banks? Yeah. Can they stand against the banks? Yes. So they are beholden to the banks. Again, PayPal is classified as a bank technically, and so PayPal is their own backing infrastructure. PayPal doesn't have to go to Wells Fargo or Visa or MasterCard or whoever to get financial infrastructure or like financial backing. Stripe does. However, Stripe is deployed to probably, easily millions of websites. It is the de facto payments system for like pretty much any major tech firm right now. There are absolutely other payments, but unless you are a large, what's the term? Like not corporate. My brain is broken. If you're not a giant company, you're probably using Stripe. Entity, company. What am I thinking? What's the word that I'm thinking of? Corporation? Institution? Conglomerate? What is the term I'm looking for? This is fucking me up. I don't know why I can't think of the word. It's a word for like large business entity with regards to contracts. Establishment? No. Organization? Not LLC. Not conglomerate. Oh well, I'm gonna move on because I don't even know. I don't even know if it's a word that exists. I might just be hallucinating. Maybe I'm ChatGPT. Have we considered this? Have we considered that I'm ChatGPT? This is bugging me so much. What is it called when it's okay, like what would you, if someone, okay, if for any other developers here, if someone were to say like, oh, they have a giant Java monolith or whatever, like what would you refer to that type of code as? Like not corporate. Fuck, what is this is breaking me. Company. This is the entire stream now, is trying to think of whatever the fuck word I'm thinking of. It's just like right on the tip of my tongue. It's like corporate, but it's like doing work in like official, like company bureaucratic ways, that, you know, it's like legacy and enterprise. Bit Kitten, you win the everything. The word is enterprise. I was trying to think of the fucking word enterprise. Unless you are a large enterprise business, you probably are using Stripe. That's what I was trying to say. Good Lord. Enterprise software, enterprise legacy development, all that kind of stuff. Good Lord. Okay. My goodness. Dev needs a nap. Yeah, he does. We got it. We got there eventually. We did it. I'm so proud of all of us. We finally got there. That was bugging me so much. When you said Java monolith, I figured it out. Thank you. I'm glad that worked. Frosty Cat. Wait, Frosty Cat, did you get it first? Wait. Did I miss? Oh no, that is okay. Yeah. Okay. We got it. I didn't even know company and enterprise didn't mean the same thing. English proficiency skill +1. I think the difference is largely scale, right? Like, I think, hold on. Company versus enterprise. I think enterprise is like a company that does business with other companies, like by minimum. Frosty Cat did get it first. Okay. The difference between enterprise and company is vital for a person involved. This is a fucking ChatGPT article already. I am out. Difference.wiki. The term enterprise is versatile and can refer to any endeavor, especially those that are associated with business or are of significant scale. It encapsulates the spirit of initiative, venture, and undertaking. An enterprise might not always be linked to commercial activities, but can refer to any large project or undertaking. On the other hand, a company specifically denotes a legal entity recognized by the state, designed for business operations, and which can range from a single proprietorship to a multinational corporation. I almost did that one perfectly, but I stumbled on the proprietorship. Oh well. Nope. ChatGPT is ruining the internet. It's so bad. I'm so tired. Oh, actually, hold on. I've been meaning to do this. I'm so tired of coming across these fucking ChatGPT sites. So here's a thing. I'm gonna start doing this. Remind me, if anybody's ever watching me stream and I go to a website and I get mad at it and I back out of it, remind me to fucking banish the website. This is gonna be a thing now. Everybody just, when a website is bad, everybody in chat just starts spamming banish or like to the dungeon. Yeah, to the dungeon. Yeah, I like that. So here's the thing. I use Kagi as a search engine. Kagi is a premium search engine. It's a paid subscription fee, but in return, you get a much nicer search experience with no ads and no tracking and far more customization and tools and niceties. What's nice is Kagi lets me do this. If I don't like a website, I can say, hey, fuck this. You can say, I want this to either always appear at the top, like pin this to the top of my search results, rise it up the search results, don't do anything to it, lower it in the search results, or never give me this bullshit. So to the dungeon. So now it has gone to the dungeon. So yeah, if you have Kagi and you get websites that are like shit, you can personally just say, get rid of it. Highly recommend Kagi if you have the bread. Do you have any search engine recommendations that aren't paid? I mean, I would recommend either Ecosia or DuckDuckGo. Probably Ecosia. Ecosia and DuckDuckGo. So Ecosia is just basically Google, but whenever you search, their ads go towards planting trees and like climate actions. So like it's just basically still just Google, but the ads go to a better cause. DuckDuckGo is also quite good. It's its own search engine. It is privacy focused. I'm souring on them a bit because they're doing like more AI stuff and I don't know. I'm souring on DuckDuckGo a bit. There's like from a privacy and search perspective, DuckDuckGo is perfectly fine. If you use it, keep using it. It's fine. It's perfectly great. Way better than Google in terms of like good use of search engine. I would recommend Ecosia. Start Page is good too. Start Page, Scylla Console recommended. Start Page is also just private, basically Google-ish. There's options. I would recommend Ecosia as the default just to do something. Kagi is really good though. What's the pricing for Kagi? So you can use it for free. You get 100 searches a month total, maybe. Oh yeah, Kagi does have AI stuff too, but again, because Kagi is a paid service, all of their stuff is like they have a really good track record at this point of basically saying like, hey, we have no interest in doing anything with your data. Like they have gone on record saying that like having user data is a liability. They want nothing to do with user data because that means they have to store it, which costs money to store it, and they are liable if they get hacked for that data, and they don't need it. Like their business model is we make a good product that doesn't snoop on you, and in return you pay a subscription, and they're solvent. Like they make money from it, so they have no interest in doing any of that stuff. And it's exactly how subscription services are supposed to fucking work. But because tech companies, the big tech companies, need to grow at like an exponential clip always, this is just not the norm. So we have a company that's relatively small that offers a pretty modest, like $5 a month is not nothing. It's significant, but it's not, you know, you must be rich as fuck to use this. And they respect you. Like, they actually give a shit about making a good product and not screwing you over. And they've got a cute dog as their logo, so that's good. But their AI stuff is like more experimental and also private by default. But I also just like don't use it, so.
Hello.
BF has issues with DuckDuckGo because he left it and it straight spammed him to return and often gave his info out. It definitely did not give his info out. They don't do that. It sounds like maybe he signed up and got like spam mail, which happens from a lot of companies and is still annoying and is rightfully, it's understandably annoying. They definitely did not share his information. That they would, if DuckDuckGo got caught selling people's information or something, they would cease to exist as a company. Vivaldi still lets uBlock origin function. Yeah, what are we talking about? We should have never left Firefox for Chrome. I went back to Firefox for a while. I really liked it when they switched to Firefox Quantum. They like did a big rewrite, made it faster, and then just kind of slowly got worse over time. I've been using Vivaldi for a while now, and I've been really enjoying it. Opera is just Chrome that uses more RAM. I would recommend against using Opera in general. Opera is... If you're going to use Opera, use Vivaldi. Vivaldi has Opera's pedigree without the scummy company that owns Opera. So Opera, who are they owned by now? Opera web browser owner. Are they their own company now? Headquartered in Norway. They've got offices in Europe, China, Africa. Okay, maybe they are is now a majority-owned company by the Chinese company Kunlun Tech Co. Limited. I don't know what their current situation is, but I'm pretty sure that Vivaldi, the web browser, I believe it was started by ex-Opera employees, and Vivaldi also, similar to Kagi, they're very much like pro-user, and like there was concern at one point that they were going to add. There was concern that they were going to add an AI feature into Vivaldi because they like made an ominous announcement about something big coming to Vivaldi, and people started freaking out, being like, "Please don't add AI. Please don't let it be AI." So they did like a really funny gag where their CEO came out to like a podium to do an announcement and just had like a bunch of papers, shuffles them a bit, and just goes, "It's not AI," and then turns and walks out. Yeah. So. They are like very anti-AI. Like they are very, very much against AI, which is cool. But yeah, Opera up to I don't know what it's like now. I don't trust it. They have a long history of like scraping user data. The Opera GX browser is like horrendously bad for privacy. Like really, really, really bad. DuckDuckGo absolutely did this. They let info leak out, often skimming and using targeted ads intentionally. They didn't. I don't know what to tell you. They didn't. It was a scam company that was trying to look like DuckDuckGo. Maybe it was something else like that. That is not like older DuckDuckGo was more privacy conscientious than now. Like I don't know what you probably experienced something that looked a lot like it was DuckDuckGo having done something nefarious. I can't say that 100% what happened did or did not happen. I would stake my reputation on DuckDuckGo having not specifically doxed specifically your boyfriend. That would be monumentally stupid on their behalf. Like that would be like Google saying we're done providing search as a feature. We don't care anymore. Like it's like that is what you're basically telling me is that. And so it's like I feel like there's a different explanation. I'm not saying that there wasn't strife and something didn't happen, but it was almost definitely not them. I've been using Opera for years. I hate the modern internet. Yeah, no, it's really bad. It's really, really bad. Vivaldi is good. Vivaldi is just a web browser. It's built on top of Chromium, so you can use all your normal Chrome plugins and everything. So if you have any Chrome extensions, you can use them on Vivaldi, including uBlock. They also have a built-in mail client. An RSS reader is built into it, and a calendar is built into it. They have a VPN. VPNs are kind of a scam, but I think theirs is free, but I don't use it. And it's just like super, super hyper customizable. And also it's nice. You get these like side panel things that you can just like attach side panel things for quick access to your browser. It's just like a power user's dream. It's really, really nice. And if you don't want to deal with people who are looking over your shoulder, there's this nice button that just pauses whatever's on screen. So that's nice. What do you think about Brave? Brave is, if you're going to use Brave, use Vivaldi. Use Vivaldi and install uBlock Origin. Brave was better. But Brave has a long history of pulling some bullshit that has basically just made me lose any respectability for them. Like I have contributed to the Brave browser. Like I have written code. I think it's probably gone because it was like before they did a big rewrite. I've written code in the open source project that was Brave. That's how much I like actually gave a shit back in the day and thought it was going to be good. But then they just kept adding crypto bullshit to it, and they started doing other random bullshit where it's like if you went to a certain crypto page, they would detect that and automatically inject their referral link, stuff like that. Like it wasn't great. So yeah, I would basically just recommend, like, whenever you see AI, crypto, or a promise of like a completely free experience, be sus, like reasonably sus. That doesn't mean immediately reject it. It just means like, okay, start to think who's behind this. Do they have any pedigree? Can I trust them? What is their business model? Are they currently just like funded by venture capital, and therefore they're going to like someday turn around and sell all the information that they're currently claiming that they don't sell? Stuff like that. If it's free, your information is typically the price you pay. Yeah, as Lupus said, you know, the classic, like, if it's free, you're the product. Classic thing. You can turn off all the crypto stuff, though. You can, yeah. But, like, yeah. Like, if you like Brave and you turn off the crypto stuff and it works for you, great. Like, that's still better than using Chrome. That's still better than using Chrome. It mostly comes down to, I encourage people to move towards things like Vivaldi and Kagi because I believe that the people behind these things are trying to make something good for the users. And so, like, I would rather see more people latch onto those pieces of software to support those developers rather than, you know, spread everybody around to a whole bunch of different, like, random things that are all like kind of better, kind of okay. I am not going to say that Vivaldi will always be great, and I'm not going to say that Kagi will always be great. I can't say that, but I can say that right now, and in my years-long experience with both of them, I have been very consistently impressed. Can you migrate stuff from Google/Opera to Vivaldi? Yeah, it just imports. And also it's available on mobile, and you can do all your syncing stuff, all that usual stuff. Google doesn't really do search anymore, though. It absolutely sucks now. Google search is awful. So bad now. So bad now. Ecosia has their own browser? Probably. There's a trillion browsers out that are all like very low effort clones of Chrome. I think Brave, Vivaldi, and Opera are probably the ones that are the most customized and most actually kind of standing on their own as a browser. Vivaldi, the most of those. But yeah. I saw somebody ask about image.
Hey, what? Wait.
Imager or photo bucket. Brackus Rex, thank you for the sub. 6 months. And Red Dog 13 Gaming. Sorry I missed the follow earlier. I must have been rambling. Imager or photo bucket? Neither. I don't use either. I'm a bad person to ask for. Here's the thing. If you want an answer that is going to be like, here's some consumer software that I would recommend for that case, you're going to get that after I explain the way too complicated, very deep nerd answer that I've got. So I'll try to reverse that order. The answer to your question is neither. I would recommend, depending on what you need, like, do you need general long-term image hosting or just to send an image to someone? Because you can still do the Discord trick for now, where you like upload a picture and then copy the link and send it to somebody. It expires now. Like Discord made it so that image links expire after like a week, I think. But if you just need to send somebody a picture, that's an easy way. I used a literal web hosting service, and I use like an S3 compatible hosting service and upload files to that, which is what I do. Don't do that. That's too much. Actually, it's kind of not too much. How about this? So this is one of the storage systems that I use. And I think most people could probably use this. Maybe. If you go to, yes, this. Image hosting for like scripting. Oh yeah, I would definitely recommend just using some S3 compatible thing like DigitalOcean Spaces or Backblaze B2. Bonk. So it's like super inexpensive. B2 cloud storage. Yeah. $6 per terabyte per month. I believe there's a free tier that's fairly ample. And it's just it's a little brutalist. Like this is not really meant to be a like very simple streamlined consumer software thing. But if you sign up for this, you can just create you create a thing called a bucket, which is just a server basically with files in it. And then you just upload files to that bucket and you mark them as public and it gives you a URL. So like it's a little more work to get set up and you would need to like learn a thing. But if you wanted to sort of like roll your own solution in an affordable way that doesn't have you beholden to a big tech company that is weird and shitty about what you can and can't do on their platform and like sends you a bunch of spam and might sell your information or use your images to train an AI or whatever, you can just set yourself up a bucket and put images in the bucket. So for people in the actual campgrounds Discord, you may have seen references to the camp CDN. That's what I was talking about basically. I have a bucket in a different service that has a URL pointing to it. That's cdn.astral.camp, and then that's where all like the images and stuff that I use go. Cole says, just wanted to pop on and say I got a vasectomy this morning. Your video was part of my motivation. Thanks, brah. I'm so proud of you. Let's talk about this for a little bit. Can we all round of applause for Cole's balls? Well done, Cole. Good work with the balls. Happy for you. Note that Cole here, our wonderful newly vasectomized chatter,
Praise.
is chatting, is chilling, is hanging out, casually got a vasectomy this morning. I don't know what time zone you're in, but it's barely noon for me. So like, you did great. Do you mind sharing how not big of a deal it was? As I will always hammer home the point that getting a vasectomy is just not a big deal. It's just not. Uncomfortable for half a second while you're getting the first like pain relief injection or whatever, but then after that you're fine. Anyway, congrats on the balls. Well done. Can you use a tiny URL with it, or are the source links gigantic? I mean, it's going to give you a relatively big source link, but you can usually, if you use DigitalOcean Spaces, which is their S3 compatible bucket thing, you can point any domain name that you want at it. Or you can always use the free short link URL generator that's available to everyone who's in my Discord community. If you didn't know that was a thing. Oh, hold on. I gotta log in. If you didn't know, if you're a member of my Discord community, you can go to lodge.camp. Is that a thing? Does that? Nope. Lodge.camp. And there's a whole game here that you can play. Oh, my plants are dead. Oh. Well, there's a whole game. My plants are dead. But what we're going to look at is short links. There's a whole like bit.ly style short link generator thing. So I can put anything I want here, like Endeavorance.camp. I can give it a thing like cool website. Yay. Okay. Cool website. And now that works. Hey. I got kicked from there? Kicked from where? Kicked from the lodge? Cool Bitly, thanks. Yeah, it's basically a free non-Bitly that doesn't track you, and also yeah. Also, there's a command in Discord, like you can just use /shorten in my Discord server to shorten any URL. So you don't even have to go to the lodge. You can just use the Discord. Me and my BF want a kid. However, we want to be semi-stable first, i.e. car, apartment, steady-ish job/career. Kids are too much for me. I've got this thing, and that is more than enough. The Discord? You didn't. I don't recall kicking you from the Discord. My fiance needs the snip because we have 4 kids in total, not all his, which is obviously expensive. We're fairly sure we're getting pregnant. Wait, okay, hold on. Let me try that. I just butchered that. Bye, Nick. My fiance needs the snip because we have 4 kids in total, not all his, which is obviously expensive, and we're fairly sure getting pregnant again might kill me. Sounds like you should get a snip. Snip. Chef de Cuisinart says, got an interview at the local carnivorous plant greenhouse. Oh, holy shit. Well, damn. That's exciting. I hope that goes well. Like, are you trying to like get a job there and not be a chef, do Cuisinart? Yeah, it was right before you started getting more into news sources being reputable, ironically. I'm so confused by this. I have no idea what timeline this is. Right before I started getting more into news sources being reputable? I've always been into news sources being reputable. I don't know if I understand what's going on right now. Did I stumble backwards into like an alternate reality where I just don't... Oh, it's probably the normal reality where I don't remember anything. Lavender Lop, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. How's it going? Can't do chef work anymore. Found out I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I know what that is. That is a syndrome that is a group of inherited disorders that affect your connective tissues, primarily your skin, joint, and blood vessel walls. Connective tissue is a complex mixture of proteins and other substances that provide strength and elasticity to the underlying structures in your body. So, like, I knew that already. I also knew that people who have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome usually have overly flexible joints and stretchy, fragile skin. This can become a problem if you have a wound that requires stitches because the skin often isn't strong enough to hold them. I knew that too, just kind of by heart. Connective tissue disorder, I'm very bendy. You can just say EDS. I've never heard of this before in my life. I've heard of, okay. This is fucked up because, like, you can't have EDS and then also have ED. Both of which are things that I didn't know. Like, I've always heard, whenever I hear ED, I always think erectile dysfunction, right? But then a lot of people started using ED to mean eating disorder. And so I saw a lot of people talking about their ED, and I'm like, wow, people are just like really chill about discussing erectile dysfunction in public now. That's great. We've made a lot of progress. But nope, that's not what we're talking about. I'm pretty sure we have someone else in the community who also has EDS. I've just never heard of this before. Or maybe I have, and it wasn't called that. I don't know. Flexi joints and pain. The two big ones. Executive dysfunction, that too. Yeah, erectile dysfunction, executive dysfunction, and eating disorder are all ED, and I can't be doing that. Can't be hanging out. I'm gonna pet the dog. Can I pet the dog? I mean, if you can reach through the screen. Tell Flynn I said hi. Whelmed Bunny says hi, Flynn. There you go. Epiest Cinnamon Roll on Twitch. He's just so cozy. He's so cozy. EDS is extremely rare in men, or at least underdiagnosed. Took me over a year to get a diagnosis. That sucks. That sounds like what's it called? What's the one for the where your uterus tries to kill you all the time? The really bad, I got the one where it's like the periods but bad. PMDD? Endometriosis, that one. Endometriosis. Which is wild how they solve it, like how they, like the surgery for it. Endometriosis surgery. They like inflate you
It's time for
and then light you on fire. Hold on. Endometriosis surgery can diagnose and treat endometriosis, a condition in which tissue that typically grows inside your uterus grows outside of it instead. Make a large incision across the abdomen. Yeah, they'll use gas to inflate your belly, and then they're gonna fucking attach special instruments and then remove tissue. I'm pretty sure they light you on fire at some point. Control F, fire. Okay, well, I did a Control F for fire, and it's not in here. So this website is probably lying. Cleveland Clinic. Yeah, it's probably wrong. Because I am a doctor. I'm a doctor and a lawyer, and everything I've ever said is both medical and legal advice. This is my first Twitch stream ever, and I walk in on dog petting. Well, welcome. Welcome to the stream. I'll try to rejoin Discord if I can, but I don't know. I'd be tacos or green olives. I don't want green olives on my taco. I don't like green olives. I don't like green olives. It's a balloon that burns the insides. Oh my god. Oh my god. Whatever. I don't like olives. Olives are too briny. 5 me. I heard fire. Where? I want to see. Sorry, Salmon. I'm very, very, very sorry. There is not actively currently fire. And that one's on me. Dev words are law, effective immediately. Everything I've ever said is law. I am the law. I'd make a good king. I'd make a bad king. I'd make a terrible king. What am I doing? I am so out of it today. I don't know what the fuck happened. Here's the thing. I've been really burnt out, as I said recently. I've shifted my streaming schedule so that I do stuff keeps happening on Monday and then streaming on Wednesdays and Fridays, which means that I now have like a buffer day in between my like being on and doing a lot of stuff days, which helps to, one, give me a chance to ever work on stuff, and two, have some time to recover and be more ready for the next stream. But for whatever reason, last night, I despite sleeping pretty okay, I woke up this morning as if I didn't sleep last night, so is what it is. I need a nap. Yeah. We all could use a nap. We all need naps. So what's going on? Oh yeah. So Netanyahu is speeching. Wow. Look at this. Who has murdered Americans and Europeans in cold blood? Al-Qaeda, Hamas, Hezbollah, or Iran? Or all of the above? Gotta give that one a big old check. So Netanyahu went to the UN and gave a speech, and when he did that, a whole bunch of people walked out. Like a majority, I believe, or at least like 20 or so people like walked out on him. He also had to take a strange, like obtuse flight pattern from Israel to the UN because so many countries have already committed to arresting him if he enters their land or airspace. So he is so isolated at this point that he has to circumnavigate entire countries' airspaces because he's wanted as an international war criminal. Hello. But it's just like, hey, come on in. Come on in. Come on and hang out. There's giant protests out in New York right now to arrest Netanyahu, which happens every time he comes here, but... Capitalize Greg. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Welcome in. But then also, yeah, Trump says he will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank, which it doesn't mean that that's actually gonna like be true tomorrow, but
Amazing.
apparently that's what he's saying now. Quote, I will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank. Gonna go ahead and need to quote him on that one. I will not allow it. It's not going to happen. Moving to recognize Palestinian. Okay, possible annexation has been floated in Israel in response to a string of countries, including key U.S. allies like the UK and Canada, moving to recognize a Palestinian state. Trump said he has spoken to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, but that he'd be firm in not allowing annexation, adding, "It's been enough. It's time to stop now." Has it? Is now the time to stop? I feel like it's been the time to stop. Trump prides himself on his full-throated support for Israel, but he's also... I don't even think that he knows what he's talking about here. Like, he doesn't give a shit about Israel. He doesn't care about Israel. He just doesn't want to deal with it. He's tired of dealing with it. That's all it comes down to. And I mean, like, if that's what it takes, then great. Comey has also been indicted. So James Comey, who is a piece of shit, former FBI chief and also guy who basically got us Trump's first term to begin with. Like, it's fucking crazy to me that Trump is so mad at Comey because Comey is essentially why he won. So Comey famously, Hillary email statement. So July 5th, 2016, which, if you'll remember, there was a little election going on in that year. And on July 5th, 2016, James Comey posted this statement basically digging into the butthurt emails situation. And ultimately what this summarizes to is we looked into it. Hillary did a bad, and here's a bunch of words about that. And like, I will hydrate. Fuck Hillary Clinton, right? Fuck Hillary Clinton. Fuck her whole, if you know, the email shit that she did is indicative of essentially just her being of the belief that she is above the law. James Comey basically torpedoed the Hillary campaign. He like gave credibility to the Trump campaign, which was also fucking disastrous at the time. But because they found a beautiful lifeline in the buttery mails situation. And this was Comey throwing fuel on the fire, essentially. But now he's being indicted because he also turned around and like did shit that Trump didn't like. And Trump's been basically pressuring his attorney general to go after his enemies. And right after he did that, suddenly Comey is indicted with, I think it's like 1 count of lying to Congress or something. No one is above the law, Attorney General Pam Bondi said. The indictment accuses Comey of making a false statement to Congress and obstruction of a criminal proceeding. He declared his innocence Thursday night and said, let's have a trial. He's going to beat this. Like, he's going to win because Trump has already posted basically being like, good, Comey deserves to be in jail. This is justice. Which you don't do. Like, the FBI has been doing this with the shootings recently, where they've been like posting evidence or whatever and making statements about a case that's currently ongoing, which they don't do because that can be used against them in court. So they're weakening their own positions with regards to actually bringing and landing these charges. These are not going to stick. Like, there's not going to be a judge, even a Trump appointed judge, that's going to be like, yeah, let's actually do this. Comey was FBI director from 2013 to 2017, was fired by Trump during his first term amid the government's probe into allegations of ties between Russian officials and Trump's 2016 campaign. So yeah, like he did the Russia investigation thing stuff. But yeah. So Comey's indicted. I mean, that's like going to be the first of probably several people. There's a lot of people that have been designated as like enemies by the like conservative media empire that we don't think about because they're not significant. Like, these are not significant actors now, at least, but like there are people that maybe played a role at some point in doing something relatively normal. Comey and his statement about Hillary was fucking stupid. He also continued to just do FBI things. And Trump got all upset at that. And all of Trump's followers got all upset at that. What was the other example? Fauci. Anthony Fauci. Like, the dude is a infectious disease expert, and he recommended that we wear masks and social distance to help reduce the spread of COVID. And they want to hang him in the public square because they've made up an entire ethos about this guy, like a boring public health official. But they've made up an entire ethos, an entire story about this guy that they want to use to like execute him for treason and shit. The whole thing with like they recently put an auto pen picture in place of Biden's picture, White House auto pen picture. They have this whole thing where they are obsessed with what they believe is a scandal that Biden used an auto pen a lot to sign stuff while he was a president. And they've come up with this conspiracy that like essentially he didn't know what was going on and the auto pen was just being used to sign whatever and the deep state was doing whatever. While there is an administration that currently has all three branches of the federal government and is currently making unprecedented moves to consolidate power into the executive branch, they are bitching and moaning about old fucking guy who should not have been president using an auto pen, which every president has done. It's literally just a device that automates signatures because wet signatures are required because stupid ancient laws. So like they've made a whole thing out of this. And what they've done now is they've replaced Biden's picture in like the Walk of Presidents or whatever with a picture of an auto pen as a gag. If you're bought into the auto pen thing, I see how this is funny. Right? Like if you are a person who has been invested in this as a conspiracy theory and you're a fan of Trump, I see why you find this funny. I don't find this offensive. I don't find this anything except for evidence of how fucking stupid all of this is. No person outside of people privileged enough to not have other problems to care about gives a shit about this. No one gives a shit about this, aside from people who have nothing better to do with their life. So there are people who are sitting around angry because they're angry, with a roof over their head and food in their stomachs, while they sit and watch whatever talking head telling them constantly that, you know, these conspiracy theories exist and are a thing. So much so that they have entire inside jokes and publicity stunts that are like arcane to anybody who's looking onto it, because we're like, what the fuck? Why are you so mad at an infectious disease expert and a signature machine that literally every president uses? Like, they have so many things that they have riled themselves up about that are so far from anything that actually matters or anything anyone actually gives a shit about. And that's why we're getting blindsided by shit like, why are they saying Tylenol causes autism? And like, why are they trying to do all, you know, XYZ absurd? Why are they trying to defund the Department of Education? Where the fuck did that come from? Like, who just 5 years ago was like, damn, I sure hope the Department of Education isn't going to be defunded over the course of a single presidency. No one's talking about the Department of Education except for the far, far deep right idiots who have some beef with it for some reason. Again, people who are living normal lives don't have the time to get wrapped up in funneling anger towards a made-up opponent. In this case, the Department of Education, probably the most boring department in our federal government. Doesn't matter who you are, they'll make up whatever reasons to start shit. It's just nonsense. Yeah, it's nonsense, and it's just disappointing. It's just disappointing to see the, like, how obviously nonsense and stupid it is, and yet they just keep doing it. Like, they keep repeatedly, successfully, in the dumbest way possible, getting what they want. And I'm very tired of it. I hate the term wet signature. You want a moist one instead? Just a sloppy, gushy signature. Exhaust people enough so they cannot think. Yeah, I mean, it's basically that. It's the whole, like, overload people with just, like, insanity. And, like, that's real. And it's part of why I hand wave a lot of stuff. It's part of why I say, like, okay, if things were already bad and they are staying bad, getting upset about that is not worth it. Because you've only got so much energy and you can't be setting yourself up for an eternal loop of riling yourself up. Like, you just can't. Things are still bad and we should use that to encourage ourselves to go do stuff. But speaking of which, go volunteer at a soup kitchen. Like, go do that if you have the time. Just search soup kitchens near me or, like, soup kitchen network in my area and look for their volunteer page and go do that. That is a really, really, really great way to do direct action and directly help people. And there are a lot of people, I've been getting people commenting on my stuff, talking about how for, like, the first time in their life, they went to a food bank. And it's not like a failing, it's just they never had to do that before. But there are people who are making increased use of food banks, some people who have never had to do that before. If you have the time, if you have the energy, definitely go help out. Squade says, I did my best today, but stuff still happened. How do you fight back when those you're fighting back against don't follow the same laws that we do? So it's I mean, you don't follow the laws, right? Like, I'm not going to give you specific instructions here, but if they are not going to play by, first of all, there's a big difference between laws and, like, norms or rules. There's playing dirty, which you can do, not illegally. And then there's civil disobedience and, like, you know, lightweight, meaningful direct action. There are things that you can do. I wouldn't recommend trying to perceive it as a fight against people because they're loving that and they love that rhetoric. That's how they view it and they project it. And then that's why they're leaning so hard into the, like, Democrats are terrorists thing right now, which is, like, absurd, right? Like, it's insane to point at a Hakeem Jeffries and a Chuck Schumer and claim that they're, like, communists or whatever, which they've been doing for years, and to call, like, people who are posting on Instagram terrorists. Like, no, they're liberals. They would be at brunch today. Come on now. Point being, don't see it as a fight. See it as a test of endurance. And it's essentially a test of endurance of how long can you, in the face of the absurdity of it all, put good out there. Because no single one of us is going to fix this. No single one of us is going to be able to, like, solve the problem. But if everyone is putting out good and helping other people get to a place of stability or improve their community ever so slightly, like, that compounding effect is how we create a foundation to actually meaningfully resist this shit. And then another large part of it is not buckling, ever. Do not buckle. Do not give in to their bullshit. Do not give in to their threats. Ever. Like, you kind of have to stand on that business, and it's going to get uncomfortable and sometimes dangerous for some people. But if you have the privilege, if you're someone like me, if you look like this, use that privilege. I would argue that the fascists posting their hate speeches of the terrorists, yes, and also they are the ones in charge. They are the ones controlling the law enforcement. They are the ones controlling the judiciary. They are the ones controlling the law. They are the ones in charge, and they get to decide what the law is now. Like the notion of we are not playing by the same laws as them, law's gone. This is a lawless country. The administrative branch of this country, like in writing, doesn't give a shit about the laws. The president has been interviewed about like, hey, well, how are you going to get congressional approval? And his response has consistently been, we're going to do it anyway. We'll get them on board, but we're not going to wait for them. So like, I don't live in your country. Hello from the north. Congrats on the not being here. It's crazy. They're not playing by the same rules. They're not playing by the same laws. They don't care. They don't care to even pretend that they are, because in their mind and in the mind of their supporters, they are doing literally divine righteous work. And anyone getting in the way of that needs to be expunged. And so like that includes laws. Like they do not care about the Constitution. They don't care about the laws. I mean, to be clear, I don't really give a shit about the Constitution either. If we're gonna, like, the only reason I give a shit about the Constitution is because it is theoretically the thing that is the basis of what we have to agree on as members of this country, as members of this society. Is like, in theory, it is the lowest level that we've built on top of for a legal framework. So the reason I would give a shit about it is for the purposes of making an argument one way or another about whether somebody has broken that contract. But in terms of caring about that specific document or thinking it's a perfect document or whatever, I don't give a shit. I don't think anyone should give a shit. I think we should give a shit insofar as it's a legal document that we all adhere to. But they are always talking about how like they care about the Constitution or whatever, and they very clearly don't. And so from the perspective of you're just lying, that makes me upset. If they just said, I don't give a shit about the Constitution, which they're not going to do because it's an unpopular position to take, even though that's their position, but they don't want to say it, that is my problem. Stand on your fucking business. If you're going to have a party whose goal is to dismantle and restructure the current government that we have, just say that. Be proud of what you're doing. All of the coy bullshit, all of the hypocrisy that like we have to just sit here and watch while entire media entities like sane wash this bullshit and claim like, oh, well, you know, they kind of can do this sort of. Like, no. If you're going to be a piece of shit, be a piece of shit and be proud of it. Because then at least the people who are not able to see past that will see it. Because there's a lot of people who take things very literally. It's why so many people can't understand the concept of like institutional racism, because there's a lot of people who think that unless you are pointing at a black person while saying the N-word, then you're not a racist. That is how swaths of people see reality. And so since Trump hasn't gone up on a podium and said, I hate black people because of their color of their skin, they're like, how can you say he's racist? Because Trump hasn't gone on stage and said, I want to round up specifically Jews into concentration camps. They're like, how can you call him a Nazi? You just call anyone you don't like a Nazi. Because it has to be hyper literal for them. And they know this. Like the Republican media entities know this. And that's why they're constantly, with the least viability possible, just lying through their teeth and getting away with it on loop forever. Because the people who see them lying and know that they're lying are not the target audience. They are completely insulated from any blowback outside of their target audience, especially now, given that, again, our whole government is controlled by the people that they are working for. So, like, they can push out blatant misinformation, blatant lies over and over and over with no repercussions, because we don't really have any laws on the books about facing repercussions for that. And also because a lot of people in this country are deeply, deeply uneducated and cannot read between lines. So Yep. The wild part is having to stand fast and fight against the Trump supporters in Canada who earnestly think, as you just described, are weeping for Charlie Kirk. Who earnestly think, and as you just described, are weeping for Charlie Kirk. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of people who truly, truly believe that he was not racist. You can give them a whole bunch of quotes that are obviously racist. They'll say stuff like that's out of context because they believe the context fixes it. But that's not how context works. But again, because he didn't go on stage and specifically say, I am a racist, they're like, well, then he's not a racist then because he didn't say it. It's all the same thought process. If it's not a direct, point A to point B, it's very difficult for a lot of people to make that connection. It's the same thing as not understanding how spending a decade espousing violent rhetoric or racist rhetoric or riling people up and claiming that you know who the enemy is and pointing at that enemy and talking about how they have no morals and they want to destroy everything we care about. Spending a decade doing that begets violence. And people don't understand how violent rhetoric can be considered even remotely violence, because the people who are super, super literal are going to, again, say, well, he didn't shoot anybody with a gun, so that's not violence. Anyway, I think I'm going to go now. I wanted to finish that thought, but I'm so tired, and I think I'm gonna head out and get some lunch and chill for a bit. But thank you all so much for hanging out with me. Sorry, this is a bit of a weird, rambly one, bit of a scattered one, but it happens. What's for lunch? Hey, it's time for a drink. Sausage, egg, and cheese on an English muffin, a whole wheat English muffin. Yes. Are your lives usually around this time? Sadly, it's mid-shift. I'm very, very sorry. But yes, my streaming schedule is Wednesdays and Fridays at 11 a.m. U.S. Eastern for some amount of time. Yep. Honoring my country, good sir. Doing what I can. Go schedule your vasectomies. Go schedule your vasectomies. Also, hello, Lavender Pop. And also, goodbye, Lavender Pop. Okay. I'm going to go. Take care. Be well. I'll see you on Monday. Also, there's a new episode of Minecraft Sisyphus Edition. If you didn't see, go check out my gaming channel on YouTube. There's a new episode of the Minecraft show. Okay. Bye-bye.